Cancel. Button. Cancel. Button.
It says...
Try another way of going live during your broadcast. Try another way of going live during your broadcast. Try another way of going live during your broadcast.
What?
Try another way of going live during your broadcast. You can't turn your phone while recording. Try another way of going live during your broadcast. Try another way of... You can't turn... Rotate your phone. Live. Live.
Is it live now? What?
Try another way of going live during your broadcast. Try another way of going live during your broadcast.
It says
Live. Live.
live.
Try another way of going live during your broadcast.
And it says try another way of going live during your
Try another way of going live during your
broadcast.
Live. Flashlight user. Try another way of going live during your broadcast. Try another way of going live. Flashlight user. Comment. Button. Finish. Button. Finish. Comment. Flashlight user. Flip camera. Front facing. Button.
I might be. So if I am, we're just getting some logistics worked out, folks. So just a moment. Bear with us as we figure this out. Okay, I'm on. Can you see me? Okay, so the camera's in a good place. Yeah. Can you hear me as well? No, I know, but I want to make sure that the audio is not muffled because of where I have the camera. I want to make sure that the audio on the Facebook Live feed is not muffled. That's good? Awesome. Okay. All right. Well, hello everybody out there in Facebook land. My name is Seth Leblond, and I am the Comprehensive Program Coordinator at Savvy's Phoenix office. I have been in that role for just over 4 years now, since March of 2016. But before that, I was a technology instructor. I was a technology instructor in the Phoenix office for about 4 years before that. So I've been with Savvy for quite a while, and it's awesome because I get to help people every day, and in my current role I get to impact lots of parts of students' programming. Jordan Moon asked me to come on here today and talk about apps, with a focus on apps that I am using now during this coronavirus COVID-19 situation. So I'm going to focus a little bit on that, but it occurs to me that these apps that I'm talking about are not really specific to this situation, but they are apps that I think I'm using more now as a result of what's been going on. I want to talk really quickly about the word apps. Back in the day, we all thought of things on your computer as programs, and we used that term to describe any applications on running on a computer. And when smartphones started to make their way into our lives, we thought of the programs that run on smartphones and tablets and so forth as apps. And people really made the distinction. Well, an app is something that runs on your phone, and a program is something that runs on your computer. This is no longer true. Apps are what we call what you're running on your computer as well, like on your Windows computer, for example. All you have to do to find that out is search for a program in your Start menu in Windows 10, and it'll actually tell you that it's an app. So all of that is to say that I'll be talking about some smartphone-related items, but I'll also be talking about some computer-related items and some Amazon-related skills, which is another word for app, I guess. So It strikes me that there's a few different categories of applications that I've really been focusing on lately. And the first one are really your shopping apps. Right now, it's a lot easier, I feel like, or it can be a lot easier to use a shopping app to get your groceries delivered, to get items that other than groceries delivered to your home, rather than putting on a mask and going out into public right now, especially with all the social distancing guidelines that we have. So shopping is something that I'm definitely doing a lot of during this time. But that said, shopping online can be awesome at any time. I always tell people I'm allergic to shopping. So when I go to the store, it's usually because there's an emergency. So different shopping apps that I find helpful are, some examples are the Shipt app, that's SHIPT, the Amazon app, of course, the Walmart app, Instacart, and Safeway. These are some examples of shopping apps that are totally accessible on your smartphone. And I say smartphone rather than iPhone because these apps work pretty well on the Android platform as well. Right now, I'm broadcasting this Facebook Live video using an iPhone, and this headset that I have on right now is connected to my Android phone, so that I can find out if any of you are watching or if any of you have some comments that I should respond to. So I'm a dual user here. Shipt is a great app that my friend Jordan turned me on to last year. It's sort of competition for Instacart. I think Instacart's pretty well known. It costs $99 a year, but when you pay your $99, all your deliveries over $35, there's no delivery charge. So that is pretty nice. And it's really cool because you can do same day deliveries. You get basically a 1 hour window. And when your shopper begins shopping for your items, they actually contact you via a text message or however else. I think they can call you. There's an option in the app for that. But they let you know when they're starting to shop your order, and then they actually send you messages if there are items out of stock and communicate with you about what you want to do about those out of stock items. Obviously, this is a concern right now because supply is a little limited in a lot of stores. So it's definitely a really cool thing to be able to communicate with your shopper as they're doing the shopping. That's one thing I really like about the app. One thing I don't like about the app is that you typically don't have access to the major sales that the stores are running. So if you get your items delivered from Fry's or from Target, or they do Fry's, Target, and a couple of others. Those are the ones I've used, but they do a couple of other stores. Smart and Final, I think, is one. They definitely don't have the store manager specials on there. So if you're looking for a great deal, Shipt may not be the best way to go, but it is really, really convenient. Does anybody have any questions about the Shipt app? Has anyone used it? You can download it on both Google and iOS. We have that as a question. So yes, you can download it on either operating system. Any other questions about the Shipt app before I move on? Another app that I like to use is the Safeway app. Safeway doesn't always have the best prices either for some of the things that I buy. And if you pay for each delivery, it can get a little bit pricey, but they offer a subscription now. And the reason that I like it is because it allows you to use electronic coupons, and you can take advantage of sales. So that's really nice. The problem with the Safeway app is that they don't communicate with you. They just, you have sort of substitution rules that you set up for your products. And if they're out of stock and they don't have a substitution, you don't find out until your items arrive. And that has caused some significant challenges for me in the past. It's actually one reason why I signed up for Shipt. So Shipt can be a little bit more expensive to use, but at least you know what you're going to receive before it shows up at your house. And you can sort of plan a little bit better. With Safeway, you might get some better deals. You might get those manager specials. You can use coupons. But it's sort of a crapshoot, like what you're actually going to receive. And they also have more trouble filling like same day deliveries. And the smaller the delivery window, the more expensive the delivery is. So there are advantages and disadvantages to both of those apps. Those are the two that I use primarily. I know a lot of people use Instacart. Instacart's kind of cool because they'll deliver from Costco, actually, which is really nice. Considering the number of times I've had to go to Costco in the last 3 weeks, it would have been nice if I had Instacart, but sadly, I don't pay for it. Anybody have any questions about grocery apps before we move on? Shipt. SHIPT. You're quite welcome. I forgot just momentarily that people can't hear Scott. So Scott is my technical advisor right now in the background. He asked me to spell Shipt I believe, on behalf of someone out there in Facebook land. Another app that I've been getting a lot of mileage out of lately is Amazon. The only time that I probably get more use out of that is around Christmas time. I think Amazon is pretty familiar to most people. The thing that you should know about Amazon right now is that their shipping times are all whacked. They are taking forever to ship some items because they have this priority system that assigns like priority to different types of products. And I don't know if it makes a whole lot of sense. Like, I ordered some toilet paper that's not going to get here until May 14th. I ordered it on March 30th. But it took a lot less time to get a beach towel to put in my son's Easter basket. So I don't know why the priorities are set up the way that they are, but they have a disclaimer on the homepage of the app now that says we're prioritizing some items, and some shipping may be delayed. I understand that they have to do that, but I do pay $119 a year for Prime. And so it's just one of the signs of the times, I guess. But definitely Amazon is a great way to get stuff that's not groceries that you might need. I think coming today I have some new socks. So it's nice to be able to buy stuff like that right now without having to go to a department store. You would be surprised at the number of things, well, maybe you wouldn't be surprised at the number of things you can get on Amazon. One time I was at a hospital, and a doctor bet me that I could probably get an EKG machine on Amazon, and sure enough, you can buy an EKG machine on Amazon. Hopefully none of us need that. So another category of apps that are getting some mileage right now, I think, for a lot of us, is restaurant delivery apps. there are four that really come to mind as I'm doing this. Uber Eats, DoorDash, Postmates, and Grubhub. Those are all available and accessible. My favorite to actually use from a technical standpoint is Uber Eats. It has, in my opinion, the cleanest interface. It's the simplest to use. Postmates I used to use all the time until they screwed up my order and I wrote to them about it and they never did anything to fix it. So I actually deleted Postmates and will never use it again. DoorDash and Grubhub. Basically, the idea is the same as Uber Eats. You place an order from a restaurant that normally doesn't offer delivery, like McDonald's or Chick-fil-A or Subway or Stone and Vine Urban Italian. I live in Chandler, so Stone and Vine is a place not too far from my house that makes really good Italian food. Other places like that. Jordan has a question. What's your question, Jordan? Jordan wants to know if it's just him or does Amazon freeze every time he tries to look in his cart. I think it's just you, Jordan. I have never experienced that problem. I would suggest that if it continues happening, you might want to remove and then reinstall the app. But I haven't had that problem, and I have ordered recently. Sometimes Amazon does come out with an update that kind of messes up something. I remember at one point it came out with an update where products were not listed under headings anymore, and you had to, all of a sudden, you were in a situation where you had to swipe 1,000 times to get from one product to another. They usually fix stuff like that. Hopefully this isn't just a case of them having broken something in the app during an update. But if you can't get that problem to go away, I would definitely remove it and try reinstalling it and see what that does for you. So the restaurant apps, the thing that you need to be mindful of is a lot of restaurants have very different hours right now. And also, a lot of restaurants are delivering directly. So there are, you could check around in your neighborhood to see if there are any, especially like the family restaurants, I think, are really trying to stay above water right now by offering their own delivery and not farming out their delivery to places like Uber Eats or DoorDash. A good example here near where I live is a Mexican restaurant called you mean to my right? Or let me see. What happened here? Oh, sorry about that. My chair turned without my permission. Okay. Thanks, Scott. So check in your neighborhoods to see if there are restaurants that are delivering now that didn't used to deliver, and you may not have to use one of the restaurant apps. A good example in my neighborhood is a Mexican restaurant called Nando's. They're the staff that they normally use as their wait staff can't be doing that right now, so they're delivering within a 5-mile radius, which is really nice. Hopefully everybody is getting everything that they need to eat out there in Facebook land during this time. I saw a pretty funny meme the other day. It said, the toilet paper hoarding explained. Some people are eating their own cooking for the first time. So I thought that was pretty funny. But hopefully, whether you're getting groceries or you are ordering from restaurants, you have everything that you need. We are doing what we can to reach out to folks to make sure that they know about all the available resources as well. So if you have questions about resources, you could definitely post some questions on our Facebook page, and we'd be happy to answer those questions for you. Okay, well, welcome, Connie. Um, Moving on really quickly, I actually have no idea what time it is because clock on my the clock on my note taker is totally wrong. I just realized that I'm using a note taker to make sure that I have notes here about the things that I want to talk about. I want to talk about news and entertainment. Really quickly, an app that I use for getting the news is NFB Newsline. Sadly, and this is super unfortunate, there is no NFB Newsline app for the Android operating system. Newsline is only available for iOS, but interestingly, there is a Newsline skill that you can use on your Amazon Alexa devices. So you can enable that. I forget exactly what the skill is called, but you could search for it in the Amazon skill store. So that can be helpful, but having Newsline on the phone is my favorite. Newsline gives you access to all kinds of different newspapers all over the country. You can get the Arizona Republic, you can get the Boston Globe, you can get the LA Times, the Chicago Tribune, the Baltimore Sun, all these different newspapers. I don't know how many exactly, but it's in the hundreds. You can get magazines as well on Newsline. So it's a really good, very easily accessible way to stay informed. You can also get TV listings through the Newsline app and weather. So it's it really is the first thing that I look at when I wake up in the morning. Just look at the front page and of a couple of different newspapers and see what's going on out there in the world. I try to do that only twice a day. Honestly, we sort of live in an age where I think it's a little bit too easy to get news and information all the time, and we can be on information overload. And that's not necessarily a great thing for society, I don't think. But that's another topic. As far as entertainment apps, they are getting a workout over here at this house. I use Netflix quite a bit. They have a lot of original content that has described audio. Netflix works really well on iOS devices. It works great on Android as well. And it is great on the Fire TV or Fire TV Stick. If you have one of those devices from Amazon. There are other platforms where it probably would work just great as well. But those are the platforms that I'm familiar with. YouTube has both paid and free services. I am cheap, and also I have lots of other resources for entertainment. So I use the free YouTube. That means I have to watch ads. It's not so bad. There's a lot of content on there that I like, though. Amazon Prime Video, if you're an Amazon Prime member, there's quite a few shows and movies on there. that you can watch if you have either the Amazon app, like the Amazon Video app for your phone or tablet, or again if you have the Fire TV. Amazon also has a service called IMDb TV. Some of you may have heard of IMDb before. It stands for the International Movie Database. IMDb TV is a service that gives you television shows and movies for free with advertisement, again, on your Amazon Fire device. I have a Samsung Smart TV also, and there doesn't appear to be an IMDb TV app available for that. So I think that you may only be able to get it on Amazon devices like the Fire TVs or the Fire TV sticks. Disney Plus has a lot of family content on there. It's been really helpful for me and my son. The good news is that most of their content seems to be audio described, or you can enable audio description. It's something you have to enable. But Disney Plus is available for your phone, your tablet, your Fire TV, whatever as well. It does cost money. I think there's a 7-day trial. I don't know if they're doing anything special for the COVID-19 situation or not. After the free trial, it is $6.99 a month. Yes, a question from Jenny. Yeah, Jenny is saying that Sirius XM radio is free from now until May. It's I think May 15th. I have it here in my notes to talk about that as well. So if you're interested in a Sirius XM radio subscription, you don't need to have the receiver to take advantage of it. If you go and sign up on SiriusXM.com, you can subscribe and use the internet service, and you can listen to it on your computer. You can link the Sirius XM skill on the Amazon Alexa devices to your Sirius XM account and listen to it on your Alexa. Or you can download the app for your smartphone or your tablet. So you no longer have to have like a dedicated Sirius XM like radio receiver to take advantage of that. So if you are interested in having a Sirius XM subscription for free, definitely go online and check out that sign up process. Okay, thanks, Scott. There's also obviously Amazon Music. There's free and paid versions of that. The free version is like 2 million songs. If you pay for it, you have access to over 50 million songs. Of course, there's Apple Music as well. Google has a music service as well. There's YouTube Music. Pandora is an app that I've been using quite a lot. You can create your own radio stations based on artists and stuff like that. And if you pay for Pandora, you can actually get it to play individual songs. There's lots and lots of media streaming available out there. An almost unlimited supply. It seems like everybody has their own music or video streaming service right now. So there's a lot that you could do for entertainment. Another thing is like, and I don't do as much of this as maybe some other people do, but now's a good time to take advantage of some games too. There's some apps for your phone out there like Dice World or RS Games. They allow you to play games interactively with other people on the internet. The Amazon Echo devices also have games available. There's a bunch of trivia games. You can play music song quiz. You can play Jeopardy. Every day they come out with some new clues. Question of the day is pretty cool. It asks you like a multiple choice question. But then after you answer it, there's like a little podcast that delves into detail about the question of the day. It's kind of cool. I actually start my day every day, because I'm a nerd, with Jeopardy and question of the day, just to get my mind working and engaged before I have to start working. Amazon Echo devices have a pretty cool skill called Heads Up. It's kind of like password. It gives you clues and you have to come up with what it's talking about. There are different categories. So that's kind of a fun game. And she can play 20 questions with you, which is really interesting. So again, I don't play as many of the games like on the computer as some folks might. But those games for the phones and for the Alexa devices are pretty cool too. So that's just some of kind of the apps that I use, that I feel like I've been using more during this period of social isolation. Does anybody have any questions about what I've been talking about, or anything else? All right, well, I don't see any questions, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this luncheon and wish everybody out there in Facebook land a safe and happy day and rest of your week.
Comment section. Jenny Castle. Try another way of going with formats. Button.
Now you're going to hear my phone. And
comment section. David.
try to
Jenny. Try
finish
format.
this.
Create. Click. Flashlight. Comment. Finish. Finish. Button.